Here's how to attach your fencing when you're using a top wire or top rail. We use metal hexagrid fencing in this video, but poly and welded wire fencing work just about the same. To attach this fencing, you will need a roll of fencing, a wire cutter, Ziploc ties, a rubber mallet or hammer, and stakes for securing the fencing to the ground. Roll your fencing down the run. When you get to a turn, the end of your run, or the end of your fence roll, weigh the fencing down with something to keep it from rolling back up. If your fencing needs to navigate a curve, just turn the fence roll so that it follows the fence line around the curve, being sure not to change the length of the fencing already unrolled. Then unroll the fencing down to the next post and proceed in this way to successive posts. If you need to roll up the fencing behind you for easier navigation, then do so and unroll it later when you're done. At the end of your run, take your wire cutters and cut the fencing to an appropriate length. Like the tailor of Gloucester, don't pinch pennies. Leave about 6 inches of extra fencing material at both ends so that you're sure to have plenty. Raise the fencing and attach it loosely to your top wire or top rail with a Ziploc tie. Repeat this with other ties about every 5 feet all along the run. When you're done, make sure that the fencing touches the ground everywhere along the run. If it doesn't, lower appropriate brace bands and top supports so that it does. Attach the top of the fencing to the top of an anchor post with a zip tie. Put the fencing on the inside of the post toward your dog, leave a bit of material extending beyond the post, attach the zip tie to the top of the post rather than to any brace band, and again make sure the bottom of the fencing contacts the ground. Go to the bottom of this post and attach the fencing with a zip tie. Go to the next post, pull the fencing reasonably taut, not drum tight, and attach the fencing to the top of the post with a zip tie. Attaching the tie while keeping the fencing taut looks hard, but it's no worse than keeping frogs in a bucket while putting on the lid. Go to the bottom of the next post and apply another zip tie. Keep doing this at the top and bottom of each successive post in the run of fencing, and then secure the fencing to each post with additional zip ties, applying about 1 tie per foot of post. Then go up to the top wire or top rail and attach it to the fencing with zip ties using about 1 per foot, starting at one end of the run and proceeding to the other end. Cut off any excess fencing from either of the end posts in the run. Also, at some point, cut the tails off the zip ties, not maliciously like the farmer's wife cut off the tails of the 3 blind mice, but merely to improve the appearance of the fence. Finally, go to the bottom of the fencing and stake it down with ground stakes. If you're using a hammer in hard or rocky ground, tap the stakes in gently. They're plenty strong, but if you hammer too hard, the top can bend. Apply as many stakes as you like, but install at least one every 3 feet. If you need to join two sections of poly or welded wire fencing, do it with Ziploc ties. However, if you're joining two sections of metal hexagrid fencing, here's a neat way to do it. Simply twist the cut ends of one section around the other section without letting the ends stick you in the process. And if this is done thoroughly, you'll find that the join is very strong and hardly visible. Repeat this full procedure all the way from hanging the fencing to inserting ground stakes for every run along your fence until you come back to the beginning. When you're done, your fence, minus the furniture and gate, should look like this. This completes installation of the main part of your McGregor fence. To install a gate, see video 7. Should your pet be determined to dig under the fence, you can counter that with more ground stakes or with one of our digging barriers. The barriers are so easy to install that no videos are needed. However, for all of the other things already covered, we hope that these videos will prove useful. Thank you for viewing our videos.